Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I've been getting too many comments about teaching you guys GSAP or Green Sock animation platform, but I think learning Framer Motion is way simpler and easy if you're planning on using scroll animations or different text image animations in React or Next.js. So in this video, I'm going to be teaching you a little bit about Framer Motion. We're going to be learning how to add simple text animation, SVG animation, and then also um, on scroll animations. So yeah, so this is going to be fun. Now, the first question that you might think of is this beginner friendly? Yes, it's 100% beginner friendly. So even if you haven't added animations to your sites before, you can animate after watching this. And then is this like too difficult? This is not actually too difficult. It's really very simple. So we're going to be learning it in steps. So this is going to be fairly simple for even a beginner. So without delay, let's see what we will be learning. So this is the page. So let's refresh. And when I refresh, you'd see the text animating, and then here you have the SVG. So this looks really neat. And we could add the same animation on scroll. So if I scroll down, we have another section that animates on scroll. So I can come down again and this runs again on scroll. So how cool is that? So we're going to be learning how to do this in Framer Motion. It would take a few lines of code. So this is really very simple. So if you guys like it, please like the video. And if you're new to the channel, if you haven't subscribed before, make sure to subscribe, turn the notification bell so that you're notified whenever I upload a new video. The source code is down in the description. So make sure to download that, play with it, and have fun. So without delay, let's get started and let's learn how to build this. So here I have the page. Now I have some stuff added here. So in the app.jsx file, you'd see some JSX written here. So let's just go through that. And then also I've imported this motion from Motion React, which is from Framer Motion. So what I have here is I have a div, a container with red background, text to white, and everything in the center with, I've given a height of 100 viewport height. Obviously, I could have added here height as screen. Width is screen, which is 100 viewport width. And then we have an H1 tag with a big text font to bold, and then we've set it as relative, and then we have this text that gets displayed here. And then we have this SVG, which we have positioned absolutely, as you can see, from top 50% and then from left 90%. And then also we've just translated along the x-axis with negative 50%. So that's what we have here. Now, to get started with the animation, so as you saw in the trailer or the intro, what we have is basically each of the characters are kind of sliding in or basically getting staggered, and then they're coming in from the bottom, and then it appears as if um, the block has a fixed width, and then these texts are not visible when they're underneath, but then when they slide up, they're gradually visible. So to do that, obviously we need the container to have a fixed width. So instead of adding it directly here in the H1, what we could do is we could add another div with overflow to hidden, and then we could set the height as 100 pixels, and then we could wrap it around the text. Now when we save, we don't have much changes. The only difference that we have is we have the text inside of a 100 pixel height div, which has overflow to hidden. Now what we want to do is we want each of the characters from the text hang the tag to be split into different span tags. So for this, we have the span inside the curly braces, and then we're going to add the split. We're going to split it with this empty space, or basically no space. And then we're going to map through each of the characters on the index. And then what we're going to do is we're going to build a span. And then here we're going to just add the character. Now, if I save, we don't have any changes. You could come here and you could check for yourself. Each of them are now in a different span tag. All right. Now that's good. Now we're going to get started with the animation. So for the animation, we're going to be using Framer Motion. So to get Framer Motion, you can just search for Framer Motion React. Scroll down, you're going to come over to this NPM page. Scroll down, you're going to get the NPM install command. You're going to copy it, just paste it, and you're going to have it running. And obviously, I already have it installed, so I'm going to be not installing again. So what we get is when you add this, when you get this motion installed, you could add the motion as the prefix to any of the elements. So here, as we have the span, we could add the motion dot span. Now this is a motion component. Now it allows us to use a bunch of stuff. So we could add animations to this. So the way we add it here is we basically first let's add the key just so that the browser can understand that each of them are unique. And then what we do is, since their span tag, initially their span tags are by default as inline elements. So we need them to be block elements just so that we could add the translate Y animation. And then after that, we add the initial. So initially we want them to be underneath, down somewhere. So we could just add Y, which is the vertical placement, or translate y-axis, we could just add 100%. That would mean that they would be 100% down to what their current position is. And then after you have the initial, then you need the final state or the animated state. So for that, you would add animate, and then we'd want them to be back to the original place, which is y0. And when you save, you get this cool animation. You see? Now, this happens very quickly, so we would want to add some duration and also some transitions. So you could add this transition, and here you could set the duration to 0.5 seconds. Let's save, and when you refresh, you'd see you have this smooth effect. Now we want each of the spans to get animated with a delay. So what you could do is you could add a delay, and then you could multiply the transition of each spans based on the index. So the initial one would have an index of 0, so it would have no delay, but then the subsequent ones would have a certain increment in the delays. So when I save, yeah, let's refresh, you see a subtle sweet delay in the text animation. So we have the text animation done here. Now let's get started with the SVG. Now I think I made already a video on how to animate SVGs, the stroke dash array animation. So it's pretty easy with Framer Motion. So all you gotta do is add the motion path to the path, and then here you could specify the animation. So initially we want it to have a path length to 0, basically what we did in the dash array. And then when basically we wanted to animate to path to have the path length 1. Now initially we also want its opacity to be 0, and in the final state we want the opacity to be 1. Let's save. You see the smooth animation. You see, it's pretty quick. So we'd add the transition as well of 0.7 seconds. Let's refresh. Looks good. Let's add a bit of delay. Could have 0.5 seconds of delay. So right after the animation ends for the text, we could have it running. Looks good. So yeah, but now you can obviously add cool text and SVG animations for the landing sections of your website. Now let's learn how you can add the same animation but on scroll. So for that, I'll just copy this and I'll just paste it again, but this time with a different background and different color. So if I scroll down, you have this, which if I refresh, only animates on refresh and not on scroll. So to add it on scroll, you don't need to do anything. Just instead of this animate, you just add while in view in both the places, both for the text and for the SVG. And now let's refresh. We have it animated. And then as you scroll down, when this text or when this section is in view, it will automatically start animating. How cool is that? You see, you don't need any intersection observer to listen for the element in view and then add the animation. So this is the crazy power of Framer Motion. So yeah, the video is short, simple. I think you liked it. And if you like the video, make sure to like it. And if you're new to the channel, if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. The source code is down in the description, so make sure to check it out. And so yeah, that's it for this video. Meet you guys in the next video. Till then, bye bye. Take care.